Oh my God, here we go again. This team clearly learned nothing from Thursday night's game when they actually won. Preds lose another game. Titans will be without Tannehill tomorrow in Houston. At least the Vols smoke Kentucky tonight. Preds lose 3-0 to the Washington Capitals Saturday night inside Bridgestone Arena on the back of a 34-save shutout by Darcy Kemper. A 3-game homestand for the Preds results in just 2 points. Not good enough. Where do I remember this happening before? Oh yes, last season in last year's PFR videos when this team would go through such agonizing droughts of offense. Because now, with just over 10% of the season played, you're 2 games under 500. You put yourself in a little bit of a hole. Now it's going to be a little bit harder because you have the CMAs taking over Bridgestone Arena, which means a 5-game road trip through Western Canada, Seattle, and Colorado. Yeah, Saros typically has slow starts, but he at least gives his team a chance to win. I expect better than Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from the offensive players on this team to go through such dry spouts between games when they perform so well and then take night after night after night off. This team wins the first 2 games of the season, loses 5 in a row, performs really well in one game, making us think that maybe they figured things out. Yeah, they would lose a game or 2, but not like this, getting embarrassed again at home. This was against a Washington Capitals team that didn't have TJ Oshie or John Carlson through the majority of the game until its conclusion. Yes, Preds Nation, for those who may have not been paying attention if you were watching it at home or missed it because you were at the game in person, 2 of the top names for the Washington Capitals were not in this game, meaning that the Capitals had 16 players, forward and defenseman, on the bench throughout the majority of the second period and the remaining third period, and this team could offer no offense. John Carlson is more often than not Alexander Ovechkin's setup guy on the power play. So at least Ovechkin wasn't able to score with a goalie in net. Good teams? Are you a good team, Preds? Right now, I just don't know. Good teams know how to take advantage of a team that is depleted, missing 2 of their top players, because you know damn well other upper echelon teams in the NHL, if you were playing against them and you had 2 of your stars out of the lineup for any portion of the game after the start of it, they would bury you by the time the final horn sounded after 60 minutes. This team living off the high from the smell that they gave themselves beating St. Louis on Thursday. Newsflash, St. Louis is not a good team right now, as they have now lost 4 in a row, getting smoked at home against Montreal in their own building Saturday night. UC Saros worked his butt off in this game, making 33 saves. If you told me coming into this that UC Saros would make 33 saves, I would assume it should have been a win. But nope, you didn't show up, and look at that on the box score. Another 0-4 on the power play, going 0-for-5. Everybody in the forward group of this roster contributed to this loss, except for, I guess you could say, Cole Smith and Michael McCarron, because they were an even and everybody else was at least a -1. I can still remember the day when Peter Laviolette coached the Preds and the Washington Capitals could never buy a win, it seemed like, against the Preds when Barry Trotz was coaching them. But nowadays, Preds Nation, including me, can only imagine a day when Barry Trotz returns to 501 Broadway to save this team from itself. Remember how after the Philly loss, I listed 4 things that I would have preferred happened to the Preds roster before Thursday's game, and none of it happened? And I said on Thursday, and I'll say it now, Thursday's win does not let you off the hook. And don't look now, Preds Nation. Well, maybe I should direct this at the front office, because the pressure will grow on you to do something to the Preds roster to fix this mess. Look at the season that Philip Tomasino is having to start the year off down in Milwaukee. Maybe it's time to consider calling him up. Find yourself on this upcoming road trip, Preds. Redeem the season. make me believe you still care about each other on the roster and the fans, and you still care about making the playoffs. You have just over 10% of the season now played. Yeah, newsflash, 10% of the season has now been played. And there are teams elsewhere in the league, in the West, who are gaining points from your losses, you not being able to keep up, and them gaining a little ground against you. You have to start cranking out the wins, or else that difference will get larger and make it impossible to come back. If you don't show me something on this upcoming road trip, it might be time to consider by that time will be 20% of the season done, maybe tank season. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Predemption. 5-game road trip. Show Canada, the world, and his fan base that you still care about winning.